are with the Kobol Expander. Super excited to get this thing open and play with it. This is a very well designed synth. What's so great about this is all the control voltage options that you have, and this isn't something that Behringer added to this original design like they have on the other ones. A lot of the other synths that Behringer is releasing, they've just added these control voltage ins and outs to help integrate into a semi-modular system. But I mean, this is pretty much what it was when it first came out, which is pretty impressive in its own right. Yeah, there's lots of interesting things about this thing. Anyway, we'll talk about that more as we go, but let's go ahead and get this thing open because I'm super excited to play this thing. Of course, you know, the packaging for most of the Behringer stuff is pretty standard. Of course, I got mine from Sweetwater, which is US based, so luckily I'm getting mine with the right PSU. I know certain people I've seen are having a hard time with that from other distributors. Man, look at that. Oh. Okay, so this is nice because not every Behringer synth I get actually comes with cables. So that's good. Obviously, because of all the ins and outs that this thing comes with, it's especially important that they consider the fact that, you know, this extra connectivity is very, very nice. Very welcome. Thank you, Behringer. All right, let's go ahead and get this stuff out of the way. All right. Throw that on the floor. Got our... Okay, so it's still coming with a quick start guide. I've noticed a lot of these Behringers, they're not really taking the time to come up with a manual. And so that's kind of unfortunate, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. What do we got here? Okay, so this is to hook it up to a powered rack, a Euro rack, and that's pretty impressive that they're shipping these with a USB cable. Most of the other ones, they have a similar connectivity, but they don't ship them with the USB cables. So that's nice that they're doing that with this. So let's just open this thing up and get going. Oh, that's beautiful. And of course, the you know, new electronic smell. It's an aphrodisiac for me. Definitely gets me going. This is just a beautiful looking machine. I mean, looking at this, I mean, you've got LFOs, you got your two different VCOs here, 1 and 2. Then you've got your VCF, along with the keyboard control and then different modulation inputs to the VCF. You've got two different ADS envelope generators. The decay kind of controls the release to a certain extent. There's just a lot of interesting design choices on this synth that were made, you know, in the late 70s by the company that made this originally, the RSF company. So again, kudos to Behringer for making something like this available to the masses who it would normally never probably in their lifetimes have a chance to ever even experience something like this. Anyway, so aside from the fact that it's laid out so logically, it's very controllable. I mean, the extensive ins and outs is what was on the original Expander unit, which it was a rack mount unit. So it was meant to be an augmentation to their keyboard version. So it kind of works out great that this is going to integrate very well for modular systems. So let's go ahead and get it hooked up and let's check it out. Okay, so they've got last note priority configured from the factory, which is nice. I appreciate that the most. Honestly, it's the most flexible for me. So we've got our LFO. We've got the LFO out volume. So this is basically just a depth knob, but they say volume. Okay, maybe I should go ahead and get the trusty Korg out and just see what these waveforms look like. Okay, seems to be something weird going on here. Hold's not on, but it seems like it kind of lost its mind a little bit there. Maybe some software bugs in this release. I just probably need to update possibly the firmware, but it just seems got a hung note there, which is unfortunate, but it's all good. We'll figure it out. So this is a triangle. Looks like a triangle to me. The interesting thing is moving through continuously variable wave shapes. Saw. It's kind of like a hybrid square. And then we've got a square wave. That's very fast transition there. It's almost like wave folding. A way you can kind of like get some in between sounds. So that's just a more pronounced pulse wave. And then there's, all right, sorry about that. I had some camera malfunctions and I had to reset my cameras. So yeah, so there's VCO1. Okay, so let's do the filter. Bass drops out when you increase the resonance. What just happened there? Some kind of noise in the signal or something. Well, I'm glad this isn't out loud. My dogs would be going crazy right now. It's like AM radio from another country. Okay, well. So anyway, your attack decay. What you'd expect. And then the ramp down is decay. Turn the sustain off. And then sustain. The decay after a certain point in the knob rotation, it becomes effectively the release. It's now becoming a release. Okay, so fairly straightforward. Again, not a typical setup for synths. Now we got VCO2. Let's get them both going at the same time. Of course, there's a synchro, VCO1, which I assume is going to be the hard sync. So let's try that. Let's try some modulation. Okay, so the LFO affects both VCOs. What was that? It's doing it again. Somehow maybe it's this, and it could very well be, but I've never seen my Arturia do something like this before, so that's kind of bizarre. Okay. I'm not sure what's going on. Looks like a software update is at hand. Yeah, well, I don't know. Seems like it just didn't get a note off signal or something. So modulating VCO1. We can turn that off. Okay, so it's not modulating VCO1. The LFO is not modulating VCO1's pitch, but it still will modulate VCO2's pitch unless you take VCO mod in and cut the normal connection to that. So that's good to know. Noise, that's another thing that's in the circuit. We don't really have access to the noise unless we take the output and it goes into VCF audio in. Where's the noise? Bring the noise. Nice. So there you go. There's your noise. It's a very logically laid out synth, but there's a lot of weird nuances here that take some time to get used to because it's just not common. Like the noise out separate, the waveform is continuously variable. Of course, the ADS. Once you reach the 12 o'clock position, it starts to become more of the release you're looking for. There's a way to turn it off, which is it's a very interesting way to approach things. Cool. Well, anyway, I'm looking forward to playing some more. Thanks.